Instagram. It is so good to be here. Thank you so much for joining. It's been a while we did this, and I mean, to be honest, I'm really not one to host a live video if I don't have an actual reason to do so. And so, yeah, in the event that I didn't get some of the people I really wanted to talk to join me to talk about stuff, I just thought, let me not bother, I beg. But of course, I had people message me to ask me questions like, oh, Bella, when next are you having somebody on Instagram live now? Like, well, I have sent a few messages to some of the guys that I really want to talk to, especially in areas or industries where I have an interest, where my interests lie, and they have not exactly been responsive. So I'm not going to force it if I don't want to talk to them. Hey, Shola! I'm a big fan. Show Sleek! Oh my gosh! Okay, so please, let's be civil. Anyway, so of course, there's a lot happening right now. The pandemic is still on, and as many of you know, I am on radio, and I'm just coming across people with weird, really, really weird mindsets. People are saying stuff like, "Oh, the coronavirus is a hoax. It's a lie. It's not true. It's not real." Um, People like government is using it to siphon money, etc., etc. And I'm like, yo, man, that is so uninformed of people. And thankfully, my vice chancellor at the Redeemers University is a virologist, and he was very pivotal to the success that was recorded when the Ebola virus hit Africa. He's been someone who's been neck deep into researches and all of those things. Honestly, I don't think we understood just how important our VC was in these areas until maybe we got out of school. We loved him so much as our VC. He was like a father figure to all of us. But you see, the importance of the work that he does outside of or that he was doing at the time outside of our university community was kind of lost on us because he was acting in the capacity of a vice chancellor. So when he finished his tenure as our vice chancellor, we started seeing him do really, really awesome things. You know, like we would see his articles published, we would see him on interviews, we would see him, you know, on TV, we would see his stuff published everywhere, and it's like, wow, our VC is like, he's not just a VC, oh, this guy is involved. And you know, when I had him on my show yesterday morning on radio, and I was going through some of the information that I hadn't checked out just yet about him. And you know, he works with the WHO. He's an advisor to the WHO, FYI. And it's just amazing to see that someone who has impacted my life and the lives of very many people who went to Redeemers University at some point or the other, you know, is still being very, very relevant even in these times. And of course, the coronavirus situation, people have castigated Nigerians in the healthcare system, you know, and said, oh, why can't we come up with our own solution? Why don't we have a vaccine? Can't we come up with some kind of treatment for it, etc., etc.? But you'll be surprised to see that people like my vice chancellor, have been doing some work. And you know, I know he's going to talk about this when he joins me. Let me see if he's here already. You know, we spoke on my show yesterday. Okay, he isn't here yet. We spoke on my show yesterday, and you know, he was just not happy about like the situation of the country. You know, he was so disappointed in how the government has handled things and how the healthcare system also has been ignored for the longest time. And it's like, look, if we had just done what we're supposed to do when we had some of these things, you know, at smaller scales, we would not be here right now. Nigeria or Africa, generally speaking, would be eons ahead of other countries because we have the talent here. But you see, talent is one thing for Africa, and then the willingness to support talent is another conversation entirely. So we're going to talk about that today on my live. Hey VC. Okay, VC is replying to my live. He says, I'm waiting. What do I do to connect? So how am I going to do this, guys? VC is online right now, but he hasn't joined my live. So let me see what I can do to get him here. Okay? He had made a joke about how Bella, I don't even know how to find my way on Instagram. Like, don't worry, so I'll figure it out. So let me do as I have promised. Let me figure it out. So guys, I'll be back. Please don't go anywhere. For all the Run alumni who are here, please tell every other person that you know that VC is live with Bella. About to have a serious conversation, y'all. All right, we're back. Awesome. So I have tried to sort it out. Hopefully VC will be able to join me now. Hi everyone. Thank you once again for joining. I appreciate you taking the time to to just join. All right. I'm going to talk to my vice chancellor. He's always going to be my vice chancellor. Like, I know that the school has had a few other what's going on here? A few other VCs after I graduated, after my sister set, and a few other sets graduated, but like VC is always going to be my VC. My VC. Okay, so I'm waiting for him to join us. Thank you guys so much. He's like VC is like so busy, you guys. Like, he is so busy. When he kind of told me the things that he has to do like in a day, I was just thinking to myself, hey, so now VC is not giving me time like this. I feel so special. Okay, so oh my gosh, where did VC's handle go? There. Make sure that I'm very quick with this because I know he has like something else to do this evening. So yeah, I don't even take this opportunity for granted at all. And I think it's really, I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but like, how many of you can have your PCs do stuff like this with you and for you? It's the absolute best. I had him on my radio show. VC, I can't see you, sir, but I can hear you.
But you can't see me.
No, I can't see you yet.
So what do? I'm a bushman, so.
What do I do? Is very interesting. Maybe join me again.
I should do. I can see everybody's talking about you there. So I press you again. I can see live. Is that what I do?
Yeah. So what I think you should do is close the video. Press that X icon.
Okay, that's your famous icon. I've seen it. Yeah. Okay. Come on. I can see myself now. I can see my photo.
It's weird, but I can't see you. So maybe close Instagram and join again, sir.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sometimes network can be weird. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Like, yo, VC and I are like BFFs. But I think he's such a cool person, yes. And his wife, of course. Both of them, honestly speaking, were father and mother figures to us, at least my sister's set, while we're in the Redeemers University. And it's very uncommon for you to find people like that who are relating with you on your level. And like, again, like I mentioned, he's no small fry. So I feel incredibly blessed. I feel so honored to have the kind of friendship that I have with my vice chancellor, such that, you know, we're chatting and it's just like laughs. So again, random information, VC is also like a February born. He's February born. And so I think that's also one thing that has made us stay in touch, because every February I'm like, yes, this is also a February person. And I remember when we're in university, every time it was the month of February and they wanted to like pray for people who were born in the month of February, it was always so exciting. It was like always exciting. It's like, yay, those of us who share the same birth month as VC, you know. And like, I think that also has contributed to it. And again, I think that if you just have like good intentions, generally speaking, you will have a great relationship with people who also have good intentions, you know. So it's not like they are nice towards you because of something they hope to get from you. You know what I mean? It's just, look, this person is a blessing. This person has impacted my life in numerous ways, and for that, I'm honored to be their friend and to have just that friendship with them. And yeah, I think that's just what it is. I'm going to Robinson as much as I can. I'm just trying to give context, you know, give a little backstory. And I think also I will not completely erase the fact that because we weren't that many, you know, so when VC was our VC, there was just about 1 or 2 sets or more, definitely more. But like, they were like maybe, I don't know, please, I'm going to focus on my set and my star sets. Thank you very much. Weren't that many. So VC was able to know all of us well. He knew a lot of our names. So it was very easy. As opposed to after like a few years, there were now a lot more people. And then it's like, okay, I'm really overwhelmed. Even though I know VC is not that kind of a person, sometimes I feel really, really inadequate. You know, it's like, look at this person who's achieved so much in life. Look at this person who has impacted lives. This person who has contributed research work to nations. I mean, and me, sometimes I'm so lazy to do certain things. And honestly speaking, when I think about people like this, I'm just like, Bella, you have no excuse. Like you have no excuse. You have just got to get up and make impact and just do something. So that has definitely impacted me in no little way. I'm trying to contain you know, whatever it is I'm feeling right now, because like I mentioned, VC has something to do this evening. Yeah, I know VC, and I kind of sort of know what he's doing, so I'm so honored. Like, y'all, it's like business stuff. Like, yeah, Bella, so yeah, I will join you on Instagram, but right after I have to be there and blah blah. So yes, I feel cool like that. So I can tell you like, oh yeah. Oh, Professor Oyewale, Tomori and I, we're really good friends. As we speak, he's got something at in a few minutes. So yeah, so I'm proud like that. Thank you very much. Okay, just FYI, because I'm seeing quite a number of Run students join. I also spoke with Mommy VC, and she's doing well. I mean, it's great to just hear them and know that they are faring well and that they are still living in the kind of bliss that we knew them, you know, by. It's still there. When I spoke to Mommy VC, can I say this? So she was cooking, and then she was like, Bella. I'm like, like, it was so exciting. Honestly speaking, for some weird reason, I felt like I was representing, like, you know, the first 2-3 sets of Redeemers University when I spoke to, when it was, I was just feeling so proud. And like images of when we're in school just kept coming back to me, of times when BC would come to the chapel and he would address us, and times when we would go to his house as well and eat. And it was like, I promise, that was just the feeling that I felt when I spoke to them on the phone. And yeah, I've been following VC on Twitter for the longest time. And so I remember that when I tweeted at him that I gave him a call, and, you know, he didn't go through. He was like, oh, what number did you call? I'm like, okay. So that's to tell you that if perhaps the number I had did not go through, I'm going to get another one. What? So anyway, but I called that number back, and like, oh, this number you're calling. And like, yeah. So anyway, whatever. Bella, enough talk. VC, where are you? Let me see if he's back. Okay, yes, he's back. I'm so sorry, VC. I talk a lot. I studied mass communication. I mean, what else do you call them? Is Daddy VC and Mommy VC now? Like, honestly speaking, I can't call any other person Daddy VC or Mommy VC. I would like my VC. You know what I mean? I can't call any other person those names. It just would not fit. No shade, I promise. I'm saying this with all sense of humility and clarity. I'm not trying to shade anybody. Honestly speaking, like, he's always going to be my VC, as the Lord tarries. Alrighty, so we're still having issues. There's that thing that's still going round and round. That's not good. Lisa, can you hear me? So I want to put VC on the spot, especially because he can't hear me right now. But it's something that we can definitely make work. Okay, it is something that he was not called Daddy VC. Are you joking, Elizabeth? Of course he was called Daddy VC, wasn't he? Sometimes we called him that, didn't we? I believe that. Well, I don't know, whatever. Me, I always called him VC, Sha. My VC. In the event that this doesn't work, and I pray that it does, Yes, my mom is here. I think that we should do a sticker. Parents whose children.
You see me now?
Yes, I can see.
You can see my bald head, eh?
Just your forehead. But can we see a better, something like a portrait? Yes.
Is it better now? Yeah. That's the important thing.
So good to see you, sir.
Yeah, it's me. I've started growing some beard for COVID.
It's been an age.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
How are you?
I'm just very fine, as you can see.
Gently. We can very well. It is so good to talk to you. How's mommy and what's real how you went through this?
Everybody is fine. We're all doing well, healthy, no COVID around us. We're okay.
Good. Thank God. That's good to hear. So talk to me about some of the research work you have been doing with regards to COVID-19, because I know you mentioned that you have a few meetings that you have every day.
The sound is not very good. There's a background noise. I don't know where that is coming from.
I'm not sure why that is, but let me repeat the question. So we had a few chats before, and you had talked about your involvement with the research work on COVID-19. So I'm curious about how far you have gone with that, and then just intimate people who don't know, because I know already, what you're doing in that field.
Okay. Every morning I wake up at 8 o'clock to have the meeting with the WHO Africa region. I advise the regional office on COVID for the Africa WHO office. And we hold a meeting every morning, 8 to about 11 o'clock. And that's Monday to Saturday. So I'm still working full time. And then at about 11 o'clock, I jump to the Ministry of Health in Nigeria to also join them in discussing about COVID. So I'm an outside advisor, which I think is good, because if you are part of the PTF, then you can't say your mind. And if you say your mind, they probably chuck you out. So it's better to be out there, say it as it is, and whoever doesn't like it, there's nothing you can do about that.
So as someone who is an advisor to the WHO, what exactly is Nigeria looking like before their eyes? Because I know that...
Sorry, the line is very bad. I'm not sure. You said, what is it to be an advisor or something?
So you did mention about being an advisor with the WHO as an outside advisor. I think that's the word. By 5, and I promised him that we'll do this in 30 minutes. Okay. Are you back? Awesome.
No, what I do. Sorry, I every morning we listen to countries that we hear their reports and then advise on what next step to take. So it kind of being proactive.
So look at where Nigeria is right now, especially because the NCDC is doing a lot of work, and we just talk about how their numbers may not represent the reality of Nigeria with regards to the number of testings that they're doing and the updates they give every day. What does the WHO all that that they're
doing? Sorry again. I think we started wrongly in the country. We should have prepared much better than we did. You know, the day that first case came into the country, that was the day we should have locked our doors. Because if you notice the thousands of cases we had now, almost all the people had contact with those people who came in, and they were the cause of the problem we have. And then we started spreading it all over in different countries. But if that day when that first case came in, we had locked our door, we would have been in a better position to handle the matter. Because, you know, the health system is not very good. And so you want to do your best to make sure that, you know, you don't bring too much problem into your country. So, like I said, if that on February 27, when we had that first case, We should have locked all the doors. No other person will come in. That way, we could have maintained with the resources we have and the facilities we have to be able to keep the disease in check. But right now, we're not able to do that because there are over 12,000 cases in different places and different parts of the country. Over. I think this line is terrible. I don't know what the problem is. Is it my modem or whatever? Or the person, somebody doesn't like me over there.
On
Yes, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I had somebody was trying to sneak in from US, so I've stopped him.
Okay, so what can we do to contain the situation right now, in your opinion? Is it possible?
What we're doing now, first of all, we need to test more to find out the burden of the disease, to let us know the magnitude of the problem. Our testing now is just barely up to what is acceptable as adequate. So we're not, I mean, you know, even some states are even refusing to test, like Kogi State, Cross River. They still don't believe that we have a problem. But I pray none of them gets the disease, then they will know we have a problem. So once we do that, we need to get more of our hospitals ready, the isolation wards, more of it to be in place. The sad part about this disease, the good part about this disease in the country is the fact that there are many people who are they don't show any symptoms. That has an advantage in the fact that we don't have to hospitalize too many people. But it also means that people who we don't know whether they are sick are busy spreading it around. So that's the message why you and I should, because you don't know the next person you're talking to, whether he's actually carrying the disease unless he's tested. Therefore, you need to put on your glove, your face mask, wash your hand, keep your distance from everybody. Everybody that you come across the road is a suspect until tested. So that's the advice: is keep your distance, wash your hands, and comply with the rules and the guides that people have said.
People are saying, when you say that there are asymptomatic people, how did they know to go get tested if they were asymptomatic?
Sorry, the volume is a bit low. Just a second, let me just check the volume.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm trying to hear you very well. Okay. So you were saying that these asymptomatic people.
Yes. How did they know to go get tested if they weren't showing any symptoms? That's one gray area.
That's the reason why we need to test them, particularly if you have had contact with a case. Then we need to test you to be sure that you are not carrying the problem. So we test people who have had contact with a known case and who are asymptomatic. Initially, what we're doing was we're testing only those who show symptoms. But now it's known that at least 40 to 50% of people who are carrying the disease show no symptoms. So if I've had a contact with a COVID case, and then 10 of us have a contact with a COVID case, 4 or 5 may not show the symptoms. So we need to test everybody who has had contact with a COVID case to know which of them is positive. And that way we can then do the isolation and keep them away from people.
So, Visi, how hard is it really for governments to listen to people like you, for instance, people who know how these things work, you know, the intricacies of issues like this, you know exactly what government needs to do, whether it's with regards to acquiring equipment and just making sure that the healthcare system is better funded? How hard can it be really to listen to you and do what needs to be done?
Well, the thing is, first of all, and that's where the testing comes in. The testing allows you to estimate the burden of the disease. And if you know the calculation of saying about 50% will not show symptoms, those are the ones that we need to keep in isolation. Those who show symptoms, we have to put them in the hospitals right straight away, you know, because of the danger of their spreading the disease. And therefore, by proper testing, you can anticipate ahead of time how many people are likely to be hospitalized. And so you get your isolation wards, the number ready, and you're calculating far ahead of time. Like at the rate we're going, you can be able to say, oh, I'm going to get 30 people who will get the infection. So I need to have 30 beds by next week. So with that, that's why the testing is very important. And that allows you to plan far ahead in terms of the number of cases you are likely to have, and then get the beds ready for them. If you don't do that, then you're going to be overwhelmed with the large number of people who should be in the hospital, but are not there because you don't have enough beds. And then testing is also important because you don't discharge people until they have tested and they're negative. So if your testing is not up to par, people may be remaining longer in the hospital than they should be, occupying the beds they shouldn't be occupying. And so you can begin to see how good and important the testing becomes, because not only allows you to know who may be coming, and also at the end allows you to know who to discharge from the hospital and create spaces for the beds. If you don't do that, you're going to have the overwhelming excess number of people staying in the hospital who should be out, and then excess number of people outside of the hospital who should be inside the hospital. And that's how we have this community spreading and becomes a problem for all of us.
So I had also, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I was curious about the fact that you have this amount of information. Why is it so hard?
That we have this amount of
information. You know exactly how this whole thing works. How hard really is it for the government to listen? Because again, in a way, the buck stops at the government's table. So how hard can it be for them to use this kind of information to do what needs to be done? Are they listening to you guys at all?
Yeah, you know, the task force should have people with them who are giving them this kind of information. But in addition to that, there's need for an independent body outside. And I said the other day, it's not that we don't have experts in Nigeria. We have more than enough experts. But all the experts cannot go into the committees. Therefore, you put some there to advise, and then you need a group of independent advisors outside of the task force or any of the government bodies who work behind the scene. As soon as the results are out, the data is out, they sit down and do a proper analysis, you know, on the basis of where are we going, how many cases are occurring, where are they occurring, where is the next hotspot, is it Lagos, is it...
Oh. Mm-hmm. Ouch. What's going on? What's going on? I can't hear VC. Guys, can you still see me? I need to be sure that you can still see me. I hope it's not that his alarm went off, because what's going on? Oh dear, network is so bad, guys. I need to still hear VC. I can't. I mean, his voice is breaking so much. I can't hear him at all. The audio is really bad. Is my audio okay? I need to be sure about that. I need to know that my audio is at least clear enough, so it's not like I'm talking to myself or you're struggling to hear me, and in my mind I'm communicating. Please, the devil is a liar. But if there's anything, right, I'm excited that we are having this talk to VC. See, I'm proud. I'm going to talk to VC and see if we can have something a bit more elaborate. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mommy. All right. Thanks, guys. I can see your comments. I will see the possibility of having something a little bit more elaborate with VC, to just talk about stuff. Maybe it will be a way of having like a virtual reunion, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I think will be pretty exciting. Of course, as you know, we can't have any physical meetings. So, oh dear. VC, come back. But I will make sure that I run that by him, and it will be pretty exciting to do that. Okay? Is that something you guys would be interested in? I'm sorry, if you're not a Redeemers University alumni, I apologize. This may not exactly apply to you. Apologies about that. Apologies, but no shame. It's possible that he's maybe trying to switch his ISP, so I will definitely be patient. I know that he's got to be at an online meeting again at 5 p.m. And so I had kind of sort of promised that we'll do this between 4 and 4:30. Oh, okay, non-run fans, definitely. Okay. I mean, again, I believe so. Here's what could work, okay? You could just, send this to your alumni page, and if your own VC is there, you can see it, and then come and learn from our VC. My VC is who your VC aspires to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm preaching right now. Ain't no shame in my game. Seriously though. Our VC is who your VCs aspire to be. Goodness me. I know what's very interesting about this. He stopped being a VC for a while now. Please, I'm not shading anybody, please. I'm not shading anybody. I'm just spitting bars. Oh boy. Hey Lumi. No, you didn't get here very late. Well, you missed out on a lot of the exciting information that VC shared. But I want him to also just talk about life after Ron, No, sis, I am an angel, okay? There's no evil around here, elected lady. There's no evil around here at all. I know. Yes, that's right. Hashtag BYB. BBB. Bars by Bella. I know VC, like I said, y'all, he will always be my VC. Like HFP, hi guys. VC will always be my VC. And I think it's evident why. If I didn't even say so much, or if you did not join the beginning of this whole video, you probably have seen now why he is so revered and why he is so loved. Someone who is willing to have these kinds of conversations. For crying out loud, I'm sure that there are people who are looking for an opportunity to just talk to VC, especially with regards to the COVID-19 situation. And like, I called him on the phone and like, yo, VC, can we please do an Instagram live? It's like, Bella, I don't know how to use Instagram that much, but I'll find my way around it. I'm like, again, my VC is who your VCs aspire to be like. Boom, mic drop. No shame in my game. So we're trying to get VC back on. Yeah, we're trying to get him back on. I used to, and so, oh man, this is so weird. Why isn't it working though? So in the event that we want to make something like this a little more elaborate to also involve or include people who are not exactly run students or former run students or anything like that, or current run students, we can totally run that. We can totally run that. My brother-in-law is a techie, and we can totally do something like that. I think he's watching. Wale, I just put you on the spot. Please, today is a day for just putting everybody on the spot, and it's a day for me to just be proud, please. Okay, because like first off, my VC is my G, and I know his humility is so worthy of emulation. I'm just dropping these bars. I don't even think I'm too much self. The natural something. I tell you, like I could sit here and not have to read one news article on Professor Tomori, and I will have a lot of things to say, like a lot of things to say, without necessarily having to Google him or anything like that. I'm serious. Quarantine him immediately he lands. Who are we talking about here? Did I miss something? Did the joke just fly over my head like that? I hope not. You know what, guys? I'm concerned because, like I said, VC has got to go at 5, and I was thinking we'll be done at 4:30, and then it can have like 30 minutes before he now goes on to his meeting at 5. But it's 4:37. I can see that he's still trying to join us, and I was like, what do we do now? Because I don't want this to be that we'll not finish 4:55. You know, and then he's got like very short time, of which I know that VC, like you have seen, it's from one meeting to another, to another, to another. So I'm sure he'll be like, no, Bella, I don't need the time. I'm sure he's pretty fit. He's like, I don't need the time. I just, from one platform to the other. So it's okay. But like, now we have to see VC is trying again. My in-law in Turkey? My in-law is not in Turkey. In-law, Wale, are you in Turkey? I've been there and that Turkey in Nigeria. Lighter has a word for me. Share, bruh. Please share. So we're trying again to add VC to this. Let's see. I just hope that it works. I quite think that these ISPs may be a bit overwhelmed. There's a lot of online activity going on, and I think it's also the survival of the actual fittest for many of them. Like how great are they really with their internet connection? Tokike Otio. I say he's a techie. Oh my gosh. He's a techie. No, my in-law is a techie. He's not in. You people that used to speak all that English that year. It's not Turkey, it's techie. Please, it's Turkey. So that's why you thought I said tech. You thought when I pronounced techie, you thought I was pronouncing Turkey. Bruh. I don't, just leave me out of your struggles.
Can you see me now?
Yes, I can, VC. Thank you so much for
I'm so
grateful.
I can stay till 6 o'clock. If I have to stay till tomorrow, no problem. So by 5:30, I'm still on. So whatever time you have, I'm ready for you.
Thank you, VC. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
So I had to change my modem. I think that was the problem. Is it okay now?
Yes, it is. It is. Can you guys hear VC?
Yeah,
please let me know in the comments if you can hear him well enough.
Yeah, I can hear you very well. No problem. Now you can ask all the questions you asked the Zigzag.
I just want to take you back to something you said initially about ensuring that people who were discharged proved, or rather tested negative to the virus before they were discharged.
Yeah, what happens, the rule is that if you're in hospital for COVID, the doctor will have ensured that you're not showing any more symptoms.
Right.
But even after that, the lab will also have to check that you still don't have the virus, and possibly maybe you have developed antibodies. So the test is to find you negative for the virus. So if they find you negative for the virus, then you are discharged. In addition to not showing the symptoms.
I think it was last week I read somewhere the NCDC DG said something like they would not wait until people tested negative before they discharged them. Something like that.
The problem was the ideal situation will be that you want to ensure that whoever is going out is no longer positive. That's the ideal situation. That the fact that we're not doing that does not mean that that's the ideal. I think the circumstances, even if you remember, even the original system of testing, NCDC will not test you unless you are showing symptoms.
Yes, but that
now they're discovering that. They've changed that now. So one of the things about the disease is that everybody's learning, is something new. And therefore, I hear a lot of people blaming the WHO for doing certain things, but they can only act on the basis of the information they have. And the information, so when the new data come that changes, then they change the plan. That's what it is. This is not a disease that anybody knows anything about. I mean, when it just started, nobody knew that loss of sense of smell was part of the symptoms. But as more cases came up, they're now finding other symptoms. So now you can now have a better understanding of the disease. First, it was usually respiratory problems, but other things are coming on right now. So the more we know about it, the better we're able to plan and control and treat the cases.
So is an actual vaccine or possible treatments being worked on in Nigeria right now?
I'm laughing because you know your country more than I do. You see, a lot of the activities that are going on in relation to vaccine are not happening in Nigeria. There are at least about 80 or so candidate vaccines now. I think only about 3 or 4 of them are going through tests now.
Right.
The level, and there are different stages of vaccine before they say it's available to people. For example, there are people who do the research in the lab and get the vaccine. Then you test them in animals, and then you test them in human beings, like once, twice, 3, and so large number of human beings. We can participate at a certain stage, like the test in human beings, the last stage. We can actually do what they call clinical trials in Nigeria, to test people. Yeah, exactly. Then the Nigerian government is working with the May and Baker to set up a vaccine production company. The hope is that when this vaccine is available, the laboratories or the vaccine manufacturing companies will not have enough place to make enough. So if the Nigerian Vaccine Production Center is ready, we could actually participate in the final stages of releasing the vaccine out to people. So we can still take part in that, but as to immediate research, laboratory research, I think we better forget about that. We don't have the resources. We don't have the conducive environment for that kind of thing.
Wow. Someone also mentioned about the one from Madagascar. Should we keep our hopes up for that?
Just keep your hope where it is. Don't bother to keep anything up. You see, the problem with many of these things that come, the problem with many of these things that come, they are not tested.
Right.
Somebody wakes up today, I say that, I have a cure. You remember from day one, even before COVID came to Nigeria, we have some Nigerian professors saying they have the cure for COVID. The question I ask the person is, you not even had a COVID case. So where did you test your drug? Where did you test your vaccine? So all these claims on the pages of newspapers, I think we better forget about them. I don't raise our hope for nothing. Until each situation is tested, there are processes for testing things. I mean, not just say I found it and then I announce it outside. You have to go through processes. Many of those things, the one in Madagascar, even a lot of the ones that are talking about in Nigeria, they have not gone through the processes. They still have to be tested. And therefore, it would be better to keep quiet when you have tested before you start announcing to the world that even the ones where they have made the vaccines fail. The test will eventually with human beings, they can only tell you, no, we are testing it. Not that this vaccine is ready for use, So, but we don't wait until we do all that before we start announcing in Nigeria. And that's the problem that we have. And raise people's hopes high for nothing.
If your hope is here, keep it. Don't
just leave it where it is. Leave it where it is.
There are also very interesting conspiracy theories that are going around about coronavirus, 5G, and all 5G, of that. And we've seen people from very exposed, educated people to members of the clergy, maybe in a way reinforcing some of these conspiracies. And the truth is there are people who may be watching this right now who may also have that benefit of doubt. Right? Like, well, it's possible that there's a correlation. Can you please address that, VC?
At this time, all sorts of stories will come. And depending on whoever comes. One thing I always tell about stories is that when somebody tells you a researcher found this, without telling you who that researcher is, then you begin to have a doubt. Researchers in the US, without naming who and where they did it, don't believe such stories. They say, 5G, when 5G came into Abuja or whatever, that's when we're having cases. Is 5G is not in Lagos, yet Lagos has more cases. They came up with the story at one time that, oh, the 5G is the one that is causing problem in this country. You can see, everybody's having disease, but that's not true. Where they don't have the 5G, or they said no cases are occurring. Go and check the records. It was just the beginning of the problem for those countries. And therefore, the countries that actually have the greatest problem with 5G, when you look at it, is that there's no correlation. Those who know more about those things than myself have said there's no truth in it. And the disease is spreading all over the places. And not many places have 5G. So why? And when you look at the reason they gave, the theory they gave, it doesn't follow sense. I mean, we've had the governor here saying, "Oh no, just wear your mask. It's not vaccine that is needed." And then at the end of his speech, he says, "You can make vaccine out of this one." So when you take somebody is saying one thing with two tongues at the same time, then you want to tell yourself. So anybody who has all these rumors and things, study what they are saying well. And like I always say, when you cannot pinpoint and say, Mr. X said, this is what is happening, and he says, a researcher from Europe. Anybody can be a researcher from Europe. And when you don't have those, where you cannot confirm what they are saying, better don't believe such stories.
Wow.
So let me say, for what we know now, there's no correlation between 5G, whether a pastor has said it or not. The pastor is delving into an area where he has no knowledge. And I think they're all just creating problem for people. And you remember when we were talking about churches, opening the churches and all that, people, they need to have God come and pray them. I always refer them to our Lord Jesus Christ. He spoke the word and they were healed. There was no physical contact in quite a lot of his healing. So if our pastors are that good, let them speak the word and then we'll be here where we are. We don't need to come to church.
That's a deep one. So I just want to know, you're someone who obviously loves Nigeria so much. I mean, I know that there have been opportunities for you to leave Nigeria, quote unquote, for good. But you're still hell-bent on remaining here. Do you still have hope? I mean, when I say hope, I mean, do you think that in a short time, in your lifetime, Nigeria will become a better country?
First of all, when people ask me whether I have hope, I said, if I don't have hope, I won't be talking to you. It's because I have the hope that I keep saying what I'm saying. That one day, those who should listen will listen. It takes a long time, but we have to be consistent in what we're doing. We have to create the enabling environment for the people to perform. When people talk about going to diaspora, I saw the lady talking about diaspora and all that thing. We're putting the cart before the horse, as that is diaspora is concerned. If you don't create the enabling environment for the diaspora to function, they won't come back. And even if they come back, they won't succeed. Many of our colleagues who are excelling outside, bring them back to Nigeria and see where they will excel. When you don't have electricity, when you have water, when you have this, when you have that, these are the problems. You can have good scientists. I mean, it's like you bring a carpenter to your house and say, repair my house, and then he has no instrument. Is he going to use his teeth to knock the nails inside? These are the issues. We need to address those environmental issues, make it conducive for research. Take the issue of genetic studies, where now the guys in Ron are doing that now. But in many of the places where they do that, 24 hours, you can run an experiment for a whole month, non-stop electricity going on. If on the 30th, which is the last day, and the electricity goes off 2 minutes before the 12 time, all your work for one month is gone. That's the situation about what we're saying. And moreover, I've always told somebody that this country, in a way, created the environment for me to become what I am. I didn't leave this country for all my study. And I didn't go to King's College or any of those things. I went to one of the remotest parts of this country for my education. I got my degree from Oyewale Grammar School, Oyewale Boys High School, all those kind of things. And I'm what I am because standards were okay at that time, anywhere you went in the country. I was born in Malaysia. I went to Government College Ughelli to school. I went to Zaria. And everything was okay in the country. So this was the country that made me, and I will continue to remain in the country because I trust. I mean, if this country can make me what I am, it can make you better than I am if we do the right thing. And that's the problem. And that's why we keep talking. That one day, some of those, sorry to use the word, dunderheads that we have as our head of state, head of whatever, those are the ones that we need to listen to the people. They're there to serve their people, to do the right thing for their people. After all, we had political leaders during the time I was going to school. They're not foreigners. They were Nigerians. And they turned this country around, made the environment ready. So what's so difficult? Why do we have to go overseas to get things done? That's my own attitude. And that's why I'm still around. And we'll keep talking until one day somebody will wake up in this country. And by the grace of God, I'll be around when that turning comes up.
Amen. That's what I said in your lifetime. So for the younger generation, you hear people say things like, oh, well, just because we are young, there isn't that much value that we can create anyway. There have been talks around how younger people are not competing greatly in politics and positions of leadership. What will be your message to the younger generation with regards to not necessarily waiting on the older ones to do something, but to maybe be the ones who start off that change?
You know, they have deceived the youth and saying tomorrow is for the youth. Don't get deceived. Today is for the youth. What I am today was not made today. Whatever it is I became today was made when I was growing up. I mean, decided to do this, to do those things. So you do what you want to do for your tomorrow today. Don't let any of the old people deceive you that tomorrow is for the youth. Today is for you, and start working towards that. You take this country away from the people who have messed this country up. Unfortunately, it includes people in my generation. But take your country away from their hand. Turn around. And, you know, there are many different ways, not only in politics, that you can make a change in your country. There are different areas of adventures that people are doing great things. So don't wait for the blinking politicians to do anything for you. Within the limits of what you have.
Sorry to cut you short, sir. There's argument about I want to leave off grid, for lack of a better word. There are lots of young people who have their businesses. They are providing their own electricity. They are providing their own security, all of these things. But they find out that sometimes when you get to a certain level as an entrepreneur or whatever, somehow governments just find its way to your doorstep. So how easy is it really for you to decide to create change in your small community without waiting on the government? But again, there's that fear that government will find its way somehow to come and stress me.
Good. You know, the point I always tell people is that one of the things we as scientists, mistakes we made was to focus only on our science without getting involved in things outside of science.
Yeah.
Many of us sat down with our test tube, running an experiment. We're happy when there was electricity, and we had when they have money. But then we forgot that we're doing this for the people. The people have to appreciate you. I always make one important point. If Pengason, you know, the ones that carry petrol tanks all over the place, if they say they're going on strike today, if Buhari is on his sick bed, he will come out immediately. Because he knows that, you know, if they go on strike, there'll be no drive, no transport, electricity will not go, the food will not be on the fridge. So he knows they affect so many things. If ASU goes on strike, a year after the strike, we are still asking, are they still on strike? It is a matter of relevance. It's a matter of relevance. When you are relevant to your people, then the people will take care of you. So it is not creating whatever you are doing in isolation. How relevant are you to the people? How do we get yourself involved with the power you have to talk about things that affect ordinary people? You should expand your horizon. As an educated person, you are more than just a scientist. You are a teacher, you are a guide, you are somebody that people will follow. So we need, that's the thing. This is something that should have done, not with your generation. This is something that we'll have done way back. But unfortunately, if it is not done, does not mean that we will not do it. If we don't do it, we'll continue to be way back. And the day we have to start it, we have to get it done. You know, that's the thing. So as young people, like I said, tomorrow, what you're going to be tomorrow, you have to start doing it today. But then look around you. What can I do also to influence the people? I mean, if all our research in Nigeria have been focused on solving Nigeria's health problem, nobody will throw us aside now and think we're no use, because all of the research we're doing in those days had no relevance to the needs of the people. You may turn around and say, oh, we did this one, but the industry did not come. Did you present it to industry? Did you go beyond your writing it for promotion and take it out to industry and see what's the benefit for the people in industry? There's a question people always ask us, what is in it for me? And people think that that is an illegitimate question or is for bribery. No, there's nothing wrong with that one. What is in it for me is a legitimate question. If I'm going to get to work with you, I have to ask, what is in it for me? What is the benefit? Okay. If there's no benefit, why am I working with you? So when people say, some people have misused what is in it for me, like the policeman on the road, but that's a different story.
Yeah, it's not about, it's now money's based. That's really where people see it. It's an exchange of cash. What's in it for me?
I know. But we are the ones to change people's attitude from that. Even in our own relationship, what is in it for me is what is the benefit or what am I going to get in by working with you? If there's no benefit, why am I wasting my time with you? It's a natural question that we should all take and accept. What advantages? I mean, if I do my research and I find something out and I want to get to industry, I'm going to have to tell that industry, if you do this one, it's going to make more money for your company. You're going to expand your system. You're going to introduce this. You're going to that. We will never sell those things with our research. We do it, and like I said, most people we do it ends up as for promotion. You get your promotion, you get your professorship, and you go home and sleep. That's what happens. But beyond that, it's for self. Most of what we're doing is the question, we turn it around. What is the need for this research I'm doing? I can get my promotion. But that if that is the horizon we have, that's why we are becoming irrelevant as scientists in this country.
BC, what are your thoughts on internet fraud? What do you think about it? People have, for the past few days, explained it. Some have said, oh, well, you know, for anyone who's caught by any agency for dealing in, you know, for internet fraud, especially if the person is an African, we say, you know, that person is taking back the money that our advisors took for back in the day. What do you think about it?
Immediately you add the word fraud to it, then that makes it no good. I mean, anything, you have if you say a pastor is a fraud, you can't tell me that pastor is good. You know, the word, immediately you have added the word fraud to it, then that knocks out every argument they are making about this thing. And in fact, you know, we talk about the expatriates did it to us. We did, I mean, they stole our money, they did all that one. Question I'm asking, even the slave trade, when they came, didn't they have people amongst us who collaborated with them? Our own people. For their own benefit. They joined the slave traders. The people who are looting this country, who are looting the oil, this thing, aren't they Nigerians who are going, or did they just come to the Federal Ministry of Health, I mean, the Finance, and took all the money away? Somebody was there working with them. So part of the problem is our problem. What is our, do we bring our nation before ourselves? And so when somebody defrauds your country and say, oh, all of the money was kept in, who kept the money in American bank? Was it the American or the Nigerian? So these are the questions you'll be asking ourselves. And so rather than look in that direction, the question is, how do we repair this? And come back, but wasn't like that before, was it? I mean, there was honor, the integrity, you know, with our population. What happened to us? Those are the questions you'll be asking. And I'm saying this COVID period should be an opportunity for us to sit down and see, wasn't this country great at one time? So how did we do it? Why can't we go back and do the same thing? It's the same human beings, isn't it? They're not new generation of genetic mutation of Nigerians. It's the same us. No, so to me, I would look in that direction and say, whatever it is, internet fraud is fraud. is wrong. No matter what anybody is doing, even if you are trying to steal back from, it's actually you are stealing back what they've stolen from you. The word steal is still there. If you get it legitimately, of course, no problem. You know, I mean, if you get your thing, use your internet properly and get resources from them, no, of course, that's okay. But immediately you use the word fraud, that knocks out every foundation you are putting there. It's like you are building a citadel on the foundation of fraud. There's no, you can't defend that.
All right, awesome. So I also want to know what your thoughts are on women's rights. Sadly, for the past few weeks, again, there have been lots of reports about of rape, women being involved in, you know, just maiming, right? In Lagos, it was reported that some lady was killed at somewhere along Bega by a policeman. And of course, in Benin City as well, a young lady was raped and killed. And it's not the first of these issues. We've heard lots of many of these things. Sadly, people say it's not new. It's just getting more exposure. So address that, especially from the angle of women having to live in fear of any of these things happening to them on a daily basis, and how these kinds of mentalities and these kinds of reports can also hamper or how it can affect their lives as career people and just gender, generally speaking.
You know, it's unfortunate that what is happening in the country. If people are saying it's because there's more report, the better. I'm glad that now people are talking about it. We probably were hiding it before. People do it even within homes. Really, family members raping themselves, they are all also of that nature. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. And anything that can be done to stop it, the better. And the laws, and it requires each of us to be involved there. First of all, let's address the rapists. I think there's something wrong with them. So you need to address that issue first of all. Is it a mental issue? Is it a whatever it is? There's a problem with such a, they're not normal human beings. Anybody who rapes anybody is not a normal person. And so that's one area we need to.
Do you, sorry to cut you off, sir. Many people, some people, not many, some people have said that every man is a potential rapist. Do you agree to that?
No, I don't. I don't. And the reason what I'm saying is that, I mean, some of the excuse they give, oh, so see the way she dressed, or see the way this. How many people have I seen that have dressed? I didn't feel like raping them. No, I don't think, I mean, I think it's wrong to say that everybody's a potential rapist or whatever. I don't think so. And that's part of the beginning of the training we had at home. You knew what was right. You were brought up to believe what is doing. And once we abandoned that at home, this is what we're paying for right now. In those days, they say it was draconian. Boys and girls had the way where they play their own. People were taught what to do, the right things. We don't do that nowadays. And so the people were getting, and what do we see on our TV? Look at all the Nollywood and all this is some of the stories you're talking about happen on Nollywood, happen on the films that you watch. So the children, young children who are looking at it think it's a normal thing. Then they grow up behaving like that. So we expose our children to all these things. And when they grow up, they say, train your child. He will be the expert in the thing you are training him. So when you start showing them rapist things and all those kind of violence against women in films and things, they're slapping the woman, they're kicking her or something. You're teaching them that it's a normal thing. And when it's happening, you're either laughing at that time at those things. So we are responsible sometimes for some of the things where it is a result of the failure to train our people. That we're getting all this, like you said, raping business may not have been as much as it was. It wasn't that it wasn't there. But it is going more rampant. I think we are now reaping the repercussions of those movies and things that we show to our children, you know, especially when the parents are both outside of the house for most of the day, and you're leaving that child at the mercy of all those movies.
The House of Reps last week voted against castration for rapists, particularly rapists who were involved in raping minors. And I remember that the speaker, his explanation for that was, what if the woman was the one who raped a minor? What will be done to her? So, Visi, I'll have to stop this video and start again. We have only 17 seconds left. Instagram will close the video when it's 1 hour. So we have spent 1 hour.
Okay.
So we'll start again. So please join me.
Yeah, for me, I think, first of all, I don't think one wrong deserves another. I mean,
hey guys, that was 1 hour already. Jeez. How time flies. So I'm back anyway, and I will just wait for VC to join me again. Thank God, the internet is now behaving. I'm just so excited, and thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your patience and just everything. If your friends haven't joined, please tell them to join. So yeah, we're done with COVID-19 and we are on Nigeria. In a few, I'll be talking to VC about just life post-run. The VC of life. Let me see if he's back. I'm really enjoying this. It's like, it's so chill. When I start my TV show, I hope that you guys are going to subscribe. I know. My VC is so loaded. Please say, Bella, your VC. Please, please, please. Why are you claiming my VC? The elect lady. It says VC. Please, dear. It's not your VC. It's my VC. Hey, Toba, how now? I'm fine, no. We thank the Lord. Trying to see if VC is back. So he says he can be here till like 5:30. So that's exciting. I'm really, really excited about that. Just before VC joins us, I just wanted to mention to everyone who's watching this right now, something just crossed my mind, and it's that we need to also check up on, older people in our lives, whether it's our parents whom we haven't spoken to in a long time, or, just parental figures, your uncle, your auntie who has been good to you. That's right. Oyewale boy, is your VC too now. Like, what's this? Are you trying to be humble right now? So, the list is our VC. Excuse me, please. It's Bella's VC. I'm going to go and register the name. Hey, Dremo. I'm going to go and register the name. Please, dear. It's not every time you're able to have your vice chancellor, join you on an Instagram live video. Hey, VC has not left too. I really hope he hasn't left, because like I mentioned, he's got another meeting at 6 now. He updated me and said, I'm saying he updated me as if everybody was not even was updating. Please, he updated me and said the meeting, would be at 6, and yeah, so we've got some time on our hands. Shango say it's not only at your VC, I VC too. Everybody's now claiming VC. Please, 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 please. Do you talk to him on the phone? Do you talk to him on the phone? Yes, no, maybe? Do you have him on your Instagram? Yeah? I'm listening. I can't hear you. What? Thank you, my dear. That's right. My sister, the shoulder pad is on the ceiling. He said, don't expose me in the open. Hey, Teseme. I know you are the one. There's a name you call me that I just always know is you when I say it. Hey, VC, where are you, sir? So, let me see. Trying to... Once in a green moon, not blue. Okay, VC says, sorry for the cheese. Hey, VC, it has not finished though. He just sent a message and says, we should do this again. Sir, we have not finished. See, thank God for multiple devices. Let's see. never use two phones. Never. Hey, Femi, like I could never use two smartphones. I tried one time, it was so difficult. I couldn't. I remember when we were younger. Hey! If it was three phones, we would have used, would have used it. But right now, it's like, yo, I know. Bring back our VC. I know he's coming. He's going to be back in a few. I have just messaged him and it shows that he has seen my message. So let's hope that he joins. I'm pretty sure he will. I'm pretty sure that he will. So I was really stressed about that. In the event that I choose to now make this like a full-blown TV type thing, it may be on YouTube as well. Yes! This is here. See, you people, I know people. I need to be civil. That's because if I do, we'll not leave here today. Oh my goodness. I just actually remembered my first meeting with VC. My first ever meeting with VC. I literally just remembered. And it was in what year was it now? The year my sister got into Ron. That was 2004. That was 2004. No, 2005. It was 2005. This story, I will say it in the YouTube video, you will watch it. It was, you know how we hear lots of stories about schools and like, oh, when you get into the university, everybody, their eyes will be sharp. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And so that's the expectation you have already. VC, what's going on? Hey, this is commenting on my Instagram live. People, but I have blown. Yes, over 10 years ago. Jeez. I got into Ron 2006. First set was 2005. I got in a year after. And yeah, VC is here. I've added him back.
Yeah, I think I'm on. Can't see myself. Can you?
Just
Can you see me?
double tap. No. I'm kind of seeing the laptop screen.
Oh, okay. So what do I do?
Double tap on your picture on the phone.
My own picture.
Yes, double tap it.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Okay, so you were supposed to give me. So I just remember. I don't know if you remember VC. My first ever meeting with you. Do you remember that day? By any chance?
I'm sure. I mean, I met so many people. I'm sure I'll remember. If you start, if you tell me the beginning of the story.
I came to your office with my dad. I came to your office with my dad.
Yes, I remember.
You're sure you do?
I do. Your sister, who came in first? Your sister?
Yes, my sister came in first. I wanted to talk as well, but like the exams were over and everything. And I was still looking at the possibility of maybe doing a supplementary type thing to get in that same year. And then you were like, oh, well, that's not possible. That the supplementary exams had been written and and you were so warm. And you said, not to worry, write the exam this year and next year you will join in. If not for how you said it this year, I would have cried that day because I wanted to come to Rome by all means. After I saw the hotel, I was like, no, I want to go to this school. And just how you spoke to me and my dad made everything just so comforting. And for me, it was like, well, yeah, I could wait a year before coming. So, yeah. So, yes, I'm excited that you remember. But I will do a full video about it and share. But I need to let you go in a bit, because I want you to be ready for your meeting at 6. But before you go, sir, you were going to talk about the castration question that I asked.
Yes. Yeah, I was saying that for me, 2 wrongs don't make a right, number one. There'll be other punishment that can be given to such a person. And there are many, many more things. Sorry to compare it. It looked like Sharia law. I mean, if you steal, the hand you use in stealing, they cut it off.
We cut it off,
You
true.
know? Yeah. So, and if you say you don't believe in Sharia law, why would you want to castrate somebody who has raped somebody? You know, I don't buy the idea of, well, the minor entice the person. The minor can't entice an adult. No way. You know, so, but I think my only is that there are other, again, the punishment is not to give the person a chance to repent. He could end up becoming a champion against raping after he has realized the error he has made. He has paid the price for it. I mean, if it is everybody that commits offense that we throw away, well, it's not. There have been people who have done things and realized what they've done for one reason or the other. And like I said, if your background was where you were not, like all these children were exposing to those things now, you never see anything.
Yeah.
Let me give you a good example. Who do you see on our radios, on TVs? You suddenly see a person who has stolen all your money and he gets into the court prison. He leaves the governor's house, he becomes the senator. He leaves senator, he becomes the vice president or president. Minister. And then people begin to see this is the way to behave. You know, it is the society that has made him. And then because that's what the society is teaching. So the society also has some blame on these issues. And I don't think in our days there was so much raping as we are seeing now, because we were made to understand what was good and what was wrong. But I think unfortunately it's also my generation that seem to have abandoned training of our children, because sometimes we thought what we were doing in those days was like punishment. I don't want my children to suffer like I suffer. But then it was really suffering. If they are not taking you through that, you won't become the person you are now, the discipline that you had, and all those things. I left home at the age of 11, 12, to go to a school 300 miles away from my place. I left Elisha at the age of, and came to Oyewale. My parents didn't follow me, but they had imbibed in me certain rules and things that I knew I dared not disobey. They kept reminding me I'm the son of so and so. So when I got to Oyewale, I behaved myself. Of course, I played the usual pranks that everybody plays, but basically, I was a good guy, because that foundation was there. But we're not giving our children the foundation for them to live a better life in future. And so when they turn around raping and stealing and internet fraud, it's because we as parents have failed, to do our duty. These are some of the things that I think,
There's also the issue of power, the power play as well, because I hear you when you say, sir, that there's that failure of parenting that's a factor that has contributed to some of these ills. But there are people who went to good schools, people whose parents were very disciplined people, but who have reached a place in life now where, because they have power and they have money, they feel like they can get just about anything that they want. So I think that also is maybe a contributing factor.
That's also a part. It also depends. That's the human nature. You can plant the same two plants in the same place, water both of them. One will die and one will survive. So that the individual human nature is also part of it. I mean, how many of us got trained, even in the same family, where you do all that same thing? You will see fine children who will go to prison, and some will go to university. It happens. So there's, but then you have to lay that foundation.
Exactly.
Because if you don't do that, then everybody may end up in prison.
That's a solid one. Visi, let's talk about life post-run and how you are now. What is a day in the life of Visi now?
Funny enough, when I left, I actually made up my mind that I was going to retire. I mean, by retire, I mean,
yes, I was going to take up any... You talked about it a few times. You told us, I think you mentioned it.
No, exactly. That I wasn't going to take up a full-time job. I wasn't going to set up any project or anything. But I would live my day by the day. And for the first 3 months when I got out, I did purely nothing. But what did I do?
Wow.
All the novels that I had my mind to read, I brought them out and read them, for almost 3 or 4 months. In fact, I had a novel in my study. I had one in the bedroom. I also had one in the toilet. And I was reading like 3 novels a day at the same time, you know. I pick it up wherever I left from each other one. But then, because I've been used to working with international agencies, it was only for a short time. And then I started getting the invitation, come in and assist. And when you have you are blessed with the experience and people are calling you, well, you keep on. And then one of the things I remember to do was to keep abreast of my area. You know, just like I was doing even when I was in Rome. My Saturdays was to do the area of virology. I don't touch anything that concerns Ron. I would just go into the library or go to my office and try and catch up in my area. Up to today, I still do that.
Wow.
Madam is still complaining that I spend too much time on the internet. You know? But, you know, that's my livelihood. That's what makes me what I am. And I don't want to be telling you stories that in 1989, somebody died in Nigeria, when I can tell you, as of yesterday, this is the number of people that died or something. You have to keep abreast. You have to keep abreast of what is going on. Otherwise, you become stale. And then nobody will call you again. You know? And I have my colleagues, many of who we don't even remember what they were. They studied virology because they gave up and finished a long time ago. But, you know, and for the human being, the life itself is the fact that you want to keep learning. All the things I'm talking about now, they were not in my days, you know, but I had to keep abreast so that I can, when I don't look like a fool when I'm talking, you know, that's something I think each episode you continue to carry out with the work that you're doing, to excel in what you're doing, to be better than you were even yesterday. And that's what makes the difference between you being out there, being invited to talk on something or the other. And I always have one thing I always tell people, whether kindergartens call me to come and give a lecture, or Professor Emeritus called me to give a lecture, I prepare equally for them.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, because there are certain things, the kindergartens, you have to know what you're talking about, be able to relate to them. I cannot sit down as a Professor Emeritus and be talking to kindergartens. They won't hear what I'm saying. But I have to bring myself, yeah, exactly. So I have to bring myself to their level, understand their way. Exactly. But that's studying. And if I move and talk with politicians, I know how to also change my attitude. So learn always with whatever it is you're doing. And and there's so much fun in learning. I enjoy reading a lot, you know.
That's great. Now I know that you and mommy are empty nesters right now. How do you keep busy together? Because I saw something weeks ago about this lockdown situation. Someone said a lot of divorce lawyers were cashing out because couples who had not spent a lot of time together were having a hard time living in the same space, seeing each other every day, and not being able to step out of the house. So how would you advise that younger couples navigated spending a lot of time with each other?
I think one of the things that each must have something they enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be the same thing. There are common grounds where you are, but each must have, call it your space. I mean, the woman must have things she does and she enjoys. The man must have things she does and he enjoys. But at the same time, you'll have things that you're doing together. During that time, that opportunity to do your thing or how to do our thing, you can come back together. And when you come back together, sometimes you exchange, oh, you saw what happened when this guy talked to me. Some of the things messages I do, actually, she knows. Oh, you know, I told the minister off yesterday, you know, that kind of thing. You know?
That is so sweet. That's beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. I may be putting you on the spot right now, VC, but if there's anything I know about you, it is that you are big on confidence. And so I want to ask how you feel about Redeemers University now, compared to when you were our Vice Chancellor.
Well, first of all, it'd be unfair for me to talk, but you know me, I always say my mind, you know, in spite of being unfair. To be fair, we had a dream. We had a dream what the university was to go. And then we were on the way. Maybe perhaps the time was too short to. One of the errors I made, no, not errors, more than I did, I didn't realize that our country had gone so decadent to that level that it requires more years of showing example for people to move and follow that example. And you cannot start something, stop, and then start again. I think what happened to when, sorry to talk about my, not predecessor, what's the other English word for that one?
Successor.
The one that comes
Successor.
after you. Successor, sorry. You know, it is not fair to talk like that. But one of the things that I'll talk about the dream, and I mentioned it to him. I said, look, we had a dream. We didn't want to be, we said we wanted to dare to be different in a decadent society. But we have a price to pay for that. And you must be ready to pay that price, which we did in the first 4 or 5 years of the university. I mean, if I tell you some of the things we went through within UC, you know what I'm talking about, you know, standing by what you believe in, you know, that kind of thing. But it's not everybody that has that call it courage to say, this is what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
And so I did mention to the bachelor before this one, and I did say, look, and then I did say, look, it was like the 7, you remember the story in the Bible about 7 years of fat cow and 7 years of lean cow with Pharaoh. Yeah. And I thought that, you know, we had 7 years of fat cow and you came in with 7 years of lean cow and you ate up the fat cow. And that's where we are today. But I'm glad to say that the new, how do I say? I'm glad to say that the new VC imbibes that same vision, and Ron is now back on course. And it was like maybe somewhere along the line we lost the vision, but we've got the vision back. And I'm actually occasionally I spend time I'm back in the university. I do once a month or so mentoring students at the.
Are you serious?
Yes, I go back there, you know, spend 2 days, 1.5 days, you know, with them in the science department. You know, there's a center.
Right.
Is
that in
SD,
professional capacity or it's in personal capacity?
It's with both personal and this. And I do it because I enjoy doing it.
Right.
I don't get a penny out of it, but the joy I have is more than whatever they can pay me. They can't even pay me enough anyway at this stage of my life. So, but the pleasure, the fact that you're dealing with people, like I used to tell them, I said, even coming to you makes me grow younger. And I think that's something money cannot buy. You know, and so I hope that we get more people to go back there and bring that vision back. Let them know that we had a dream of where we wanted this university to be, a different university, one that is not like any other. You know, and one want to do that. We need 2, 3, 4 centers of excellence like ASU, and that's all we need to make the university what it is. Then you become the center of attraction. You don't need too many places. Everybody excelling. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will rub on the others. You know, that's the message I wanted to say. So, to me, I think Ron is back on course, and I'm really glad that is. And I made a mistake. One mistake I made was not to get involved in the selection of my successor.
Right.
I didn't make that mistake when the second one came. I actually got actively involved. You know, I think that's one of the things that you can abandon your dream, you know, because you think you have finished your work. You know, work is never finished. So
Absolutely.
you keep on. That's it. That's it. That's it.
That is so exciting to hear. I mean, I'm seeing comments as well, and a number of people are like, yes, this is relieving to hear. And I'm equally happy myself because I know how involved a lot of us were, you know, when we saw that things were not going in the direction that we wanted things to go. So it's like, what can we do to put the school back on track? But it's great to hear you say this, and I'm excited, and I'm excited. So before I let you go, I know that you're obviously a Christian and you are not ashamed of your faith. And
No
so
way.
I would like for you to address address us young people who are in multiple industries. How would you advise us to live our lives as Christians in these spaces? Sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with people. You feel
Yeah.
like you're not evangelizing enough. You feel like you're not telling
Mm.
enough people about the gospel. And at the same time, you don't want to come across as being holier than thou. You don't want to come across as being preachy. It's like, oh, well, they know
Mm.
I love Jesus, but if I tell them Jesus loves you, they may think I'm overdoing it. So how would you practically, advise on evangelizing and just being Christians wherever we find ourselves?
Very good. The first thing to me is the fact that it is the way you live your life, your character, the things you stand for. That
Mm,
is one of the evil ways of evangelizing. When
mm,
people are doing the bad things, you stand and say, I'm not involved, that kind of thing. Not telling them that you are better than them, but in a way. And some of the comments you make, I always take one thing I used to tell people. I say, I'm a rich man, not in boasting. I'm saying I'm a rich man to honor God because God made me what I am.
mm,
I let them know that, when I think of all the things that, when I see my life, I know that this was a life under the guidance of God. I might not have known when it was happening. There are certain things I wanted to do in my life, which it didn't work out. God took me through another way, and that thing happened. And I'm sitting down today and I'm saying, if I'd done those things that I wanted to do, I may not be where I am. But I'm here
mm,
today. It's like the Almighty was just guiding my life. And so I showed them experience of my life, not preaching to them that, one of the things I used to tell some of the scientists that go, I said, I thank God that I knew about the Bible before I knew about science. In a way,
mm,
what has come to me is that science is now confirming for me what the Bible said.
mm. Solid.
So much so that I was joking one day, I said, if the Bible had said it was Jonah that swallowed the whale, I would believe it. Because at the same time, how will you believe that Jonah will stay inside the whale for 3 days and will not be dissolved
Exactly.
by the enzymes
And
of the
not
whale?
die.
And he
Hmm.
didn't die, and he was breathing. If that is probably possible, why can't Jonah swallowing the whale be possible? I mean, I'm just telling you the depth of what I believe in the Bible. So this is the situation I'm saying that I wish many of us had got that grinding in the Bible before we became what we are. Life would be a
Mm,
different thing, and not only that, your life will even be better. Then you learn about contentment. You know about handing over to God many things. You try to do certain things, it doesn't work. God, I hand over to you. Not in surrender. I mean, yeah, you surrender to God, but not giving up. That's what I want to use. Not in giving up, but faith is not something passive.
mm,
Faith is active. And what does it mean? It means that even though it's looking like it's not going to happen, you are living as if it has happened. You are living
mm,
it as if it has happened, even though right around you it doesn't look like it. And you have double joy because first, it's going to happen. Secondly, before it happens, you are not killing yourself with sorrow.
right.
So you're living a joy of knowing that it's going to happen. So you have joy all along. And when it happens, your joy becomes double. But when you
Mm-hmm.
have no faith and you start saying, it's not going to happen, this type of problem, and then it happens, you have wasted the one before in sorrow when
Exactly.
God has given you time for joy. So take it easy. And then I believe that more important about these things, any opportunity you have to talk about God. Like I say, sometimes it's not directly believing God or something like that. My life today because God has been my God. And what I am today because of the Lord that I'm where I am. I remember many of my people I went to primary school with. Where are they today? It's not because I'm smarter than them. There was two boys I remember that used to dust us in the primary school. When we're getting 80, he's getting 99. But where is he today?
Mm,
Where is he today? It's not because I'm smarter than him, but because that
mm,
divine intervention came into my life and his life, and I'm what I am. So all my pride is in praise of God, not, because I think I'm smart. There are smarter people, far smarter people than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are they? But I'm here and I give the glory to God Almighty.
That's profound, VC.
My
Profound.
pleasure.
So, do you remember our school anthem by any chance?
I wouldn't. But if you sing it, I'm sure I'll catch it up. Because I still remember
The
my primary school and
vision
I remember my
has
primary
been
school anthem.
planted.
Yeah,
Wow!
you're right. Yeah, I remember.
Da, da,
But I'm
da,
not sure I
da,
remember the
da,
words because I
da,
haven't sung it for 8 years or more, But I woke up one day and I remember my primary school anthem. That was
Wow!
like something I sang in the days of the Empire Day when we used to go to the only football stadium in my village and we sing from my school. It was like, Ishona CMS school. I went to a school called Ishona. It's a CMS school. And we used
Interesting.
to follow me to Ishona. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am a little boy. I am a little girl of Ishona school. So I said, one day, I didn't know what I was thinking of. The words just came. So don't worry. I'm sure I will get this one day. Something happens.
One
But
day,
let me
one day.
before I go, I want to say one thing so that we did tell all your colleagues. I'm very proud of all of them. I read
Oh,
about what they're
thank
doing. I
you.
watch all of them. I'm ever so proud of you. And I know
Thank
that you're going to do better than we did. And you're going to make
Amen.
us proud. Make your family
Amen.
proud. Make yourself
Amen.
proud. And make our
Amen.
country proud. You will do
Amen.
that. That's the message I have for all of you. So anywhere you are, just tell them I'm very proud of you. I meet a few in Abuja in places. And when I walk and I grow taller by 6 feet, when I say that's a ground graduate,
I'm emotional, VC. Thank you so
I'm
much, sir.
very proud of
We're really
you.
grateful.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, then.
And of course, all my love to mommy as well. All my love to
I
mommy.
will.
We were
I
talking
will let her
about
know.
something that we may welcome, but I'll make sure I run it by you before I go public with the information. So I'll be calling you.
Anytime. Anytime. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much
VC.
for
God
giving me
bless
the
you.
opportunity.
Keep you for us in Jesus' name. You will not die. You will
Amen.
live.
Amen.
Declare the glory of God in the land of the living. With long life,
Amen.
God will satisfy you, DC, and show you his salvation
Amen.
in the
Thank
name of
you. Thank
Jesus.
you all.
He will lift
Thank
your
you.
head like one of the unicorn in the mighty name of Jesus. He will make you a pride to Nigeria, Africa, and the world
Amen.
in the name of
Amen.
Jesus. Anytime we hear from you,
Amen.
VC, it will be good news in the mighty name of
Amen.
Jesus.
Amen.
We love you
Amen.
so much. We may not say it enough times,
Thank you.
but we absolutely do. We really, really do. And we miss you. Very soon, we're going to hang out together
Me too.
physically.
I'm sure I'm looking forward to that. And now it's my time
Awesome.
to blush. I will blush black and blue.
Oh,
All
my
right then.
goodness. Thank you, Vicky.
Bye.
Have a
Have
fantastic
a wonderful
evening.
evening.
I
I have to
will.
rush
Bye,
for my other
sir.
meeting now at 2 o'clock.
I know.
Bye bye
Thank
now.
you for your time. Bye, sir.
My pleasure. Bye.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness. That was beautiful. Okay, let me see. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Gosh, I got emotional there. And yeah, thank God I did not like start bawling my eyes out or anything. I was close though. So thank you so much. So as many of you who are former run students, and you are perhaps, looking at the possibility of having like a virtual type reunion thing, I will talk to my in-law and then we'll see how we can do something. My sister's husband, of course. Yeah, they have been watching too. They're so awesome. I saw everyone. Marcel also watching. My mom. Philip, thank you so much. I'm so touched, you guys. Like, I just cannot imagine, what Ron would have been if this weren't there. you know, like it's a blessing, really, really a blessing. So guys, please follow me. So if there are any updates or anything like that, we'll make them public. I think at this point, we're going to have to involve the Alumni Association. I'm not that active on Facebook, so I don't know how that works, but we are going to do something about it, most definitely. My in-law, the techie, not in Philip, leave me alone. Have a fantastic evening, guys, and a beautiful week ahead. God bless you. Jesus loves you. And yeah, this has been really exciting. I will upload this on my YouTube channel, so let everyone who did not join, please get the link. So as in people who are watching who know that their other friends did not watch should please send the link to them when I upload it on YouTube. I should do that between today and tomorrow. It doesn't take that long to edit. So yeah, thank you so much. Follow VC on Instagram as well. His handle is at Oyewale Tomori, and his handle on Twitter is Wale Tom. I know, very exciting handle. So that's at Wale Tom on Twitter and Oyewale Tomori on Instagram. And just send him all your love, okay? Have a great weekend, guys, and a beautiful month of June as well. I'm not singing any song, please. I'm not my sister. Follow her on Instagram as Benita Okoji if you want some songs. Love you guys so much, but Jesus loves you most. Bye.